Hello everyone, welcome back to 3 News Now. I'm Stephanie Haney. Today is Friday, December 3rd. Thank you for being here for the top stories from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. We start with an update on the school shooting incident that happened earlier this week in Michigan. We now know that the parents of the person accused of pulling the trigger and killing 4 people at a school near Detroit will also be charged. Now, experts say this is incredibly rare in a school shooting situation, but the way these facts unfolded, according to the prosecutor, that makes it appropriate, according to the prosecutor, in this case. Involuntary manslaughter charges have been filed against Jennifer and James Crumley. They are the parents of 15-year-old Ethan Crumley. Ethan is the student who is accused of pulling the trigger on Tuesday at Oxford High School in Oakland County, which is about 30 miles north of Detroit, killing 4 people and wounding 7 other people. The prosecutor on the case says that the gun used in the shootings was purchased by the boy's father, by James Crumley, a week ago, and given directly to the boy. Now, this is key, along with a text message. It's Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald who is revealing this information. She says that the parents of the boy were called to the school a few hours earlier before the shooting when a teacher found a drawing of a gun, a person bleeding, and the words, "Help me," written. After that, Ethan went back to his classroom, later went to the bathroom, came out of the bathroom, and that's when he's accused of firing the gun at the students and is now charged with murder and other charges. Here's a key fact, according to the prosecutor. This is an allegation that the mother, Jennifer Crumley, sent a text to her son saying, "Ethan, don't do it." Now, under Michigan law, an involuntary manslaughter charge can be pursued if prosecutors believe someone contributed to a situation where harm or death was high, where the likelihood of harm or death was high. And if convicted, Ethan's parents could face up to 15 years in prison. The prosecutor said that the parents were the only people in the position to know the access to weapons, and that the gun seemed to have just been freely available to Ethan. This is a developing story, and we will continue to bring you updates as they become available. Now, here is an important update for people in Cuyahoga County. There is a public health alert issued after 8 drug overdoses, suspected drug overdoses, happened on Thursday. This is coming from Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner Dr. Thomas Gibson. He said the public needs to be aware that using street drugs in and around Cuyahoga County is deadly. He said that resources are available to lessen the dangers, but the simple fact is there is only one way to avoid these tragic ends: to get yourself into treatment before it is too late. Now, they are speeding up forensic testing to try and confirm which drug or drugs may have caused this cluster of overdoses on Thursday, which included 6 men and 2 women. The age of those people ranging from 31 to 60 years old, with one age unknown. Now, Cuyahoga County has advised that short-term and long-term intervention is available, and that naloxone and fentanyl strips will work with most fentanyl analogs. Fentanyl is the thing that these drugs are being laced with that is so deadly. Now, naloxone is a medicine that you can take that will rapidly reverse an opioid overdose. And of course, the fentanyl test strips are designed to test a drug to see if the deadly fentanyl is on that drug, because people don't realize that the drugs that they are taking have this fentanyl on them. So there's a full list of community walk-in clinics that can be found. There's a link to a Metro Health website. That's on WKYC.com. Now, as we're having this conversation, the Ohio Narcotics Intelligence Center has issued a public safety alert Friday about counterfeit prescription tablets containing fentanyl found in the state of Ohio. These look just like the generic drug for Xanax and oxycodone, according to the officials. The Ohio Department of Public Safety says that these dangerous counterfeit drugs contain fentanyl. This is a powerful drug that can kill, and other things that could cause deaths. According to them, the number and the letter markings, the colors, the scoring lines on these fake pills look identical to real, legitimate pills, and it is nearly impossible to tell the difference to the naked eye. They are saying that signs that it could be fake are if you do not get the pills from a licensed healthcare provider, if they're not in prescription packaging, meaning a labeled pill bottle, if they're being sold individually or in very small quantities, or if they're being sold in very large quantities. Here are some signs that someone may have taken a dose of fentanyl or another deadly opioid. unresponsive, unconscious, passed out, not breathing or slow breathing, your lips and your nails turning a different color, choking or coughing, cold or clammy skin if your pupils are extremely small, or dizziness or disorientation. Officials say if you believe that you or someone you know has taken one of these counterfeit pills, ingested it, call 911 immediately. And the officials are reminding people it's never safe to take a tablet or prescription medicine that is not from a licensed healthcare provider, and underscoring the fact that fake tablets, they're not being given out by licensed healthcare providers. These are coming from the dark web. These are coming from the street. So be aware of that. Now, here in Northeast Ohio, the Cleveland Clinic and university hospitals are suspending their vaccine mandates for caregivers. This is after a federal injunction, a temporary federal order from a federal court that is stopping President Joe Biden's vaccine mandate for healthcare workers. University Hospital says this is just a pause right now, and even though it's not a condition of employment at this time, they are asking their caregivers, their clinical and non-clinical positions, to get vaccinated or seek an accommodation. Now, Cleveland Clinic also said that it will be pausing it, but they do say that they will put additional safety requirements in place for employees who are not vaccinated, including periodic testing for people who are providing direct clinical care. They also went on to say that they strongly encourage all employees to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. They're proud that the majority of their employees are already vaccinated. Now, this is just one aspect of President Biden's vaccination plan, the mandate that has been put on pause right now. There's another aspect of it that's also been put on pause for people who are subcontracting with the government. Now, let's take a look at the latest COVID-19 numbers here in Ohio. In the last 24 hours, the Ohio Department of Health has released another big number. We've been hovering around 9,000 new cases for the past couple of days. Now we're inching up to 10,000 in that range. The number today, 9,584, so closer to 10,000 than 9,000 today. Right now, the total number of people reported to have died related to COVID-19 in Ohio is 87,504. And right now we have 3,916 people in the hospital in Ohio being treated for COVID-19. Out of those people, 988 are being treated in an intensive care unit. So as we continue to track what's going on with COVID-19 around the world and around the country, here's the updated list on where the Omicron variant has been found in the U.S. It has been found so far in 6 states. In California, Colorado, Hawaii, Minnesota, Nebraska, and New York. Here's an interesting fact about the case in Hawaii. The variant was determined to have been found December 2nd in an unvaccinated Hawaii resident with no recent travel history. That person lives on the island of Oahu, and they had mild to moderate symptoms and had previously been infected with COVID-19 a year ago. Now let's turn to a story here in Avon. This comes from our Lindsay Buckingham, an Avon man who ran the Boston Marathon 5 months after having open heart surgery. His name is Brad Way. He's 50 years old, and it has been his goal for a long time to run the Boston Marathon. It took him 4 years to qualify. He qualified in 2020, but of course that year the race was put on hold because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And then in March of 2021, he was having some concerning health symptoms. He said he had passed out several times over a period of days, so he went into the Cleveland Clinic's Avon Hospital, and that's when they found out by doing a CT scan, completely unrelated to the passing out, that he had an aneurysm, an aortic aneurysm. He had to have open heart surgery. At that point, he asked his doctor, Dr. Tamana Singh, with the Cleveland Clinic, a sports cardiologist, if it would be possible for him to run the Boston Marathon, which was just 5 months away. And being a runner herself, she took a look at him and she tried to be an advocate for him and helped him with the training program, and he did it. He ran the Boston Marathon, and here's a very cool part of that. His doctor was in the medical clinic, the medical tent clinic at the Boston Marathon. So afterwards, he was able to go see his doctor and say thank you for the great work, and congratulations to Brad Way on running that Boston Marathon. Now taking it down to Canton. Canton is the site of Ohio's high school football state championship games this weekend. It is happening at the Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. right in the heart of Canton, my hometown. Now, Thursday night, we had 4 teams, by the way, competing this weekend. We kicked off yesterday, going through the weekend. Thursday night, Archbishop Hoban did come in second place to Winton Woods for the Division II state crown. Tonight, Chardon will try to repeat as Division III champs when they face Hamilton Baden, and St. Edward is facing off against Springfield in the Division I title game. You'll be able to hear both of those games on WKYC.com with coverage kicking off this afternoon. Dave Dino DiNatale will be calling those games. And on Saturday, the Kirtland Hornets will be going through their 4th straight state title, taking on Versailles in the Division V state championship game. That'll be on WKYC.com as well. That starts at 7:20 p.m. Now, for the next 3 years, Canton's Pro Football Hall of Fame will host the state championship games. This is part of a initiative from the Ohio High School Athletic Association to bring the state championship back to Canton. And the stadium has recently had a new upgrade, so it's a great place for it. Speaking of Canton, if you're a Weird Al Yankovic fan, he is bringing his 2022 tour to the Canton Palace Theater. I always loved Weird Al Yankovic growing up. Such fun, weird songs, and all of his very interesting take on comedy. So he'll be at the Canton Palace Theater on Tuesday, May 17th. His tour is called The Unfortunate Return of the Ridiculously Self-Indulgent, Ill-Advised Vanity Tour. Quite the name there. Tickets are going on sale next week on December 10th at 10 a.m. Prices range from about $43 to $100. You do need proof of COVID vaccination or a negative COVID-19 test within 72 hours of the show, and you will have to have that proof with you to get entry. And as we close out this week, it is time for your good news break. We have it for you on the WKYC.com and the WKYC YouTube page. It comes out every Wednesday at 1 p.m. It's called It's All Good News, and it is only good news. This week we're talking about country singer Kane Brown and how he went out of his way to help out the Boys and Girls Club here in Cleveland. And he's not even from Cleveland, but he's doing a really great thing here. We also talk more about an incredible runner, someone who has run a marathon in every single state, and some of the other milestones that he is celebrating. And wouldn't be good news without an adorable dog story. So we have one of those for you too. That's just a couple of the stories you'll find in this week's installment of It's All Good News. Again, that's every Wednesday at 1 p.m. on the WKYC YouTube page. All right, that's it for today's installment of 3 News Now on Friday, December 3rd. Kira Cotton will be filling in next week, so she will be back with you next week, early next week. I'll see you at the end of next week. I'll be out of town for a bit. In the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Get out there, enjoy some holiday lights. That's what I'll be doing at 5 p.m. on What's New. So catch What's New at 5 p.m. for one of the places where you can see some incredible holiday lights in Northeast Ohio this season. Everyone have a wonderful Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you back here next week. I'm Stephanie Haney.